Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Be Determined. Today we are going to be going over the Rancher's Boots, which is the best farming armor that you can get. But before we get into that, I want to thank you guys for 600 subscribers, and we're almost to 650. So if you could help us reach that goal, that would be amazing. Currently, 89% of you aren't subbed, so if you could help us out with that, I'd really appreciate it. Also, we're still giving away the OG role in our Discord until we hit 1,000 subs. So if you join the Discord before we hit 1,000 subs, you will get the OG role. So be sure to take advantage of that. All right, now on with the video. Alright, I've had these boots chilling in my inventory for a while now, just waiting for the day to make a video on them, and that day is finally here. You actually get these Rancher's Boots from the pumpkin collection. You need quite a few pumpkins, 250,000, so I do recommend making a pumpkin farm just like this. You can find plenty of tutorials all over YouTube on how to make pumpkin farm, but this is the build that I chose for mine. So it's got a row of water underneath these lanterns, then a row of seed, and then 2 rows of pumpkins that are planted by the seed, 2 more rows of seeds, 2 more rows of pumpkins, and it just goes on and on and on all the way down. Now what I could do is just go down through here with my pumpkin dicer, and what I generally do is take out my level 100 elephant pet and run forward just forever, and eventually I run into the pumpkins and it makes me stutter, or I reach the end of the line. Depends on how many pumpkins are in the line, but that is honestly not the best way to do it. For a lot of crops, especially sugarcane and things like that, you're going to want to have a specific speed. So you can take your Rancher's Boots and you see the ability Farmer Speed. Left click to change your speed cap, and also crops won't be trampled while wearing. That's also pretty nice. But you can left click and then change what speed you want to go at. So I have it at 257. I'm going to leave it at that. And so now you see my speed is 257. This is my speed number right here. If I take them off, it goes back up to 365. Put them back on, 257. So now I have that specific speed and I can just run diagonally through here and be getting my drops the whole time. Now, like I said, I don't think 257 is the ideal number for pumpkins. As you can see, I'm skipping quite a few of them. But if I were to put a layer of slabs above these seeds, then I think it would be perfect. So as you can see, they're really useful for pretty much any crop, but they are also pretty expensive to craft. To craft them, it costs 16 polished pumpkins and a pair of farmer boots, which is 2 stacks of enchanted pumpkins. So to buy 16 polished pumpkin costs about 2 million coins, a little over 2 mil, and then it'll cost you probably another 200k to get the farmer's boots before that. So about 2.3 to 2.4 million coins if you want to craft them yourself. If you want to buy them off the auction house though, they're way more expensive, 3.3 million coins. So I do recommend putting down a pumpkin farm and grinding for them yourself. You'll save yourself coins. But if you don't want to worry about that, you don't want a pumpkin farm, then you can go ahead and do Rancher's Boots. But I do recommend getting a pumpkin farm anyways, because pumpkin are the best crop to grind in order to get your farming level up. You can enchant them, but you really don't need to. But I am going to do it just for the memes. So we'll go in here, throw in a growth 5, depth strider, feather falling, and protection. Just so now it doesn't look like I'm wearing a normal pair of leather boots. They actually look enchanted, so that'll be a little bit nicer looking. Plus, if I do happen to have a decent amount of coins on me and I fall from a high height, and I warp to a hub or something and I like teleport up in the air, I'm just messing around and then I fall, hopefully I won't die because of that feather falling. Now real quick, we are going to go over the perfect speed for every crop so that when you're using your Rancher's Boots, you'll know what speed you need to go for each of these crops. Now be aware, none of these are final. Different people have different methods, but this is just what I've heard is the best for each one. So for Rancher's Boots, for sugarcane I've heard 257. I've also heard up to 261 works, so we're gonna test it out, see if 261 is good. Now for all of these, you do have to look at like a specific angle, I believe, for it to work out well. But you can see I did miss a few on that row. Try it again, see if I can look at the right angle this time. Currently I am looking at negative 167 degrees. Currently I'm looking at negative 167 degrees, and that seemed to work much better. We didn't miss any that time. So 161 actually looks really good for this. You can tell what direction you're looking right here on the facing number. So I think you want to be looking at ideally probably 15 degrees or so off of whatever axis you're starting from. So if we're facing south, you want to be either looking negative 15 degrees this way and walking into this wall right here like this, or you want to be looking 15 degrees positive and walking against this wall like this. So your point of beginning will change based on which direction you built your farms in. So if you're looking south, your point of origin should be negative 0.0 or 0.0. If you build it facing west, your origin should be 90 and you'll go either to 75 or 105. If you build it north, it'll be 180. And you'll either go to negative 165 or 165. If you build it east, you'll go either to negative 105 or negative 75. So if we're facing north, we start off at 180, and I'm going to be walking to my left, so I need to look to the right 15 degrees, which will be negative 165. We get these out of the way, and then we start moving. Now, of course, if you're in the middle of a farming contest, you won't be able to get this exact, but this is a really good spot to start at. Like you see, I'm at negative 65.3. Doesn't matter, I'm fine. We're at negative 167.9. I'm gonna slowly angle it back to negative 65 right there, and that's the general idea. Now for each crop, it's going to be a little bit different, and it's also going to depend on what farm you built. So you see, I don't have slabs on top yet, so what I generally do is I don't even wear rancher boots. I'll actually swap to my young dragon set, and I'll just run at 500 speed, do one row, and then I'll come back and do the next row. But like I said, this is not ideal. I haven't done farming in a while, and I haven't needed to, but you're going to want to put slabs down, which I'll do for this next row real fast, and then you set your rancher's boots to 168, put them on, break a few blocks, and we're going to look at negative 10 degrees for this one. And we are also looking down at an angle so that we can get both of the crops on the row, and we just run down and break everything just like that. Same thing for pumpkin. For wheat, potatoes, and carrots, I've heard that 358 is a good number. For this one, you just look straight forward and run down without sprinting, and just clear all the crops out, turn, and keep going at this speed. So once again, that's 358. You want to just look straight down, do one row at a time. You can build your farm like I have mine. If you have a farm where you're flying, then you really don't need rancher's boots. It's going to be completely different for you, but I'm sure you've watched a video where they told you how to do all that. I am not educated on the flying farms at all, but as far as ground farms, this is the stuff that I know. So that covers carrots, wheat, and potatoes. Next up, we have netherwort. For netherwort, you're just going to want to put on a full young dragon set and sprint down, because 500 speed isn't even enough to get your max speed. But I know people also like to do flying farms for netherwort, and I have not gotten a gold medal in netherwort in spite of having a legendary Newton netherwort hoe. So flying is probably the better option for this, but if you have a farm where you're running, you're just going to want to get as much speed as you possibly can without using black cat, of course, because elephant pet is going to be much better for farming. Then for cocoa bean farms, you're going to be flying, so you don't really need to worry about your speed too much. For cacti, I like to run straight sideways, and if you have a 2-row, then 250 is a decent speed. But if you have 3 rows like I do, you're going to want about 150 speed and just be walking down like this. Now I have a terrible cactus farm build, but I built this in like a day and I got a gold medal with it. If I was going to run it more often, then I would have made it a lot more user friendly, but I only needed 1 gold medal and I got it, so I'm pretty much never going to use this again. Alright, so that's everything we need to know. So let's finally go put these rancher's boots into our museum. They actually go into the rarity section right here, worth 2.9 million coins. I will take that. That is going to be a very nice bonus for our museum. And I got all that myself from grinding pumpkins myself, so I didn't have to pay anything for it. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you did enjoy and learn something. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're a farming pro and I missed something, please be sure to leave a comment on it and you might get pinned. Also, if you have any questions, be sure to ask. I'll do my best to answer them, and I hope you'll have an amazing rest of your day. God bless.